everyone. So excited today because I'm here with best-selling author AnnLousie Gittleman, the author of The Fat Flush Plan. And so we're going to be chatting today and sharing thoughts and ideas with all of her vast knowledge, about redox signaling and the Fat Flush Plan and how to be healthy from the inside out and the outside in. And so as we're just starting to have people start to join us, you might want to share and comment so other friends can be seeing this as well. So today, again, I'm here with AnnLousie in her beautiful home on the lake in Coeur d'Alene. And so I've got a couple questions for AnnLousie as well as we start to talk about, again, her new book, The New Fat Flush Plan. And you've been writing these books for how long, AnnLousie?
Oh, 30 years.
30 years.
I had to think. 30 years, yes, indeed. But I'm so excited about this book and the ones that are coming out, Denny, because I'm going to be writing a little bit about ASEA, which you know is my favorite redox signaling molecule of all time. And so this gave me the opportunity to integrate some of the healing messages of ASEA into a program that many of my people are very familiar with because it's a lifestyle, and I think ASEA should be part of that lifestyle.
That's amazing, AnnLousie. Well, we had a couple questions that we thought people would like to have answered by you today. And one of the first ones was, AnnLousie, why were you initially interested in ASEA?
Oh, that's a good question. I was initially interested in ASEA because I had heard about it from a doctor friend of mine, and then of course I met you. And you really imbued
that was
my
a great
interest.
day.
That
yes.
was a wonderful day. I used it for pain control. It allowed me to be able to deal with pain. And then I had to figure out the biochemistry behind it. And when I looked at all the research, I was just blown away because I don't think people realize that this is so scientifically based.
It was so interesting talking to you in those early days. You just kept saying, Denny, do you understand what this is?
And what it does. And what it does. I mean, this kind of signals cells to be healthy on a cellular level in such a fundamental way that it's truly the kind of thing that I think needs to be spread far and wide. And I use this personally in my own life, and I used it with many of my staff members. I used it with my family. I had a cousin that had a diagnosis, a very tragic diagnosis, which I thought was probably fatal, and I put him on ASEA, and lo and behold, he is well. Thank God, knock on wood, to this day.
That was amazing.
And that was amazing.
What were some of the first things that you started to notice when you started to drink ASEA and use the Renu 28?
I noticed that my energy, number one, I noticed when I took the 2 ounces of ASEA first thing in the morning and 2 ounces of night, my energy went sky high. That was number one. Number two, I found that my skin really improved, and I couldn't figure out why until I realized that this was kind of a harbinger and a trigger for glutathione production in the system, so it's really a precursor for antioxidants. I saw a major difference in that respect. The other thing that I think was so important was that I knew I was doing something to my body on a cellular level that no other supplement that I'd ever been taking, I take 50 per meal, had ever really accomplished.
Amazing.
And that made me feel good. So it was almost like plugging into kind of like a stem cell regenerator for every system, cell, and organ of the body. So I'm very, very enamored, imbued with the message, and hope that everybody can spread it far and wide.
And you certainly understand the importance of cell health with all that you've taught on for years.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, it all begins on the cell. And you can overcome your DNA. Your DNA is not your destiny if you make good lifestyle habits. And that's why taking this on a daily basis, I think, is so very important.
Absolutely. One of the next questions that many people have asked that I thought I'd share with you today is, why did you choose to update your book, The Fat Flush Plan, with the benefits of ASEA?
Because I think they go hand in hand. I talk about healing from the inside out and the outside in, and Fat Flush is really a way of life in terms of the way that we eat, the way that we detoxify, the way that we live our life, think our thoughts, the way that we sleep. And ASEA is such a good assist in that regard because it's so basic to health. And so really being able to get something that will signal healthy cells to be even more healthy, the way we were designed to be, to me, is a really important benefit.
Well, I've always believed that food is the most powerful drug that we put in our bodies on a daily basis anyway.
It is, and it's so polluted in this day and age, which was one of the other reasons I felt I needed to write the book. And there are all these underlying hidden weight gain factors, including a toxic environment that you can't control, that are really impacting your overall health as well as your weight loss. So this is a way that you can take control back into your own hands hands, and I think you can do it on a daily basis. You wouldn't believe what I do with the product, by the way.
Oh, really?
I mean, I shared this with you off camera, but I really think I need to share it on camera. One day I was so tired. I had just come back from a very strenuous speech, and
Your travel schedule is
it's crazy. So I came back and I said to myself, wow, if ASEA can do this for me internally, I wonder what would happen if I kind of bathed myself in it, because I know how important the skin is in terms of, a conduit for the entire body. And I took a bath in ASEA.
Oh, you did? I think that's what we've all said. I just want to take a bath in it.
I did, but I had the best sleep of my life, number one. I didn't get up once during the night, which you do at a certain age and stage of life. And then number two, kind of the aches and pains that I still have after an accident several years ago seemed to dissipate for another 2 days. So, I mean, I really love this. I wouldn't recommend that everybody does
Well,
this.
and she really just used a full bottle.
I used a full bottle. That was it. But you want to know something? It's the kind of thing that you can use in so many ways.
And
I sleep in the ASEA 28.
The Renew 28, and use the serum and the moisturizer. They're wonderful.
I use all of that so I can get the benefits from the inside out, the outside in, and that's why it just goes hand in hand with the new Fat Flush plan.
Well, and I've always believed that, we're a cellular being, and if you can, to me, this is the most foundational thing that I put in my body every single day. And then you add that good nutrition so your body can to work exactly how it was designed to do.
I think so. And this reminds it to work the way it was designed to do.
That's a great way to put it.
Don't you think?
It does.
You can quote me on that. That's good. I mean,
Did you guys hear that? Let's quote her on that. It reminds. And that's often what Virtus has said. It's kind of like it tells the body Control, Alt, Delete, Reboot.
It's a reboot. It's a reboot to health. And there's not another supplement that you can use that tells your body to do that. So when you have all these new lifestyle habits that you're learning about, that you're really developing in the new Fat Flush plan, you've got something that works whether you have willpower or not. It just gets right in there on a cellular level, and it says, let's signal cells to be healthy again, and voila, you overcome your genetic programming.
Well, I want to tell you, I was with a girlfriend yesterday, and she's been on your plan for less than a week and have lost 8 pounds.
Oh, I love to hear that.
And had been on the first one, I think, since 1999, and has always been a huge advocate. She said it's the only lifestyle plan that really works for me well.
That's so nice to hear.
So that was great. One of the next questions we had is, why do such a large range of issues seem to respond to ASEA?
I think it's because it's so fundamental to cellular health, to be quite honest with you, and that the whole concept of redox signaling, which is not an easy one to really wrap your mind around, I know it was difficult for me, is so central to life itself. So it's the redox signaling, and it's the fact that it's a precursor to glutathione, which is the toxic waste eliminator.
Which is such a big deal, right? Tell everyone how important that is.
Well, it's a big deal because you use it up with all the toxins that are out there, from heavy metals to your medication to going in and having unnecessary surgery per se. Tylenol will just suck it up dry. I mean, you'll just burn it out. So you need to replenish that on a daily basis, and a lot of people that are using the precursors to glutathione don't get full benefit from that because they're not able to metabolize some of those precursors. So this innately makes your body produce what it should in the first place.
And so to have a supplement that does something like that is just...
It's extraordinary.
It's extraordinary.
It's worthy of a Nobel Prize.
That's amazing. That's what we've heard a lot about ASEA. Do you have consumption recommendations based on frequency and varying doses based on specific issues, other than wanting to take a bath in it like we all do?
Other than taking a bath in it. I do 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night, but those individuals that have more severe health challenges, I think, could easily double that to 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces at night.
Yeah, that's what we often see with many, many people. If you've got a challenge, we just say drink more. If I'm under a challenging situation, stressful situation, we just increase the dosage and play with it until it suits your body the best. And then, AnnLousie, do you believe there is enough research provided by ASEA that validates safety and effectiveness of the products?
Yes, and I went to headquarters. I saw the meticulous way in which the product is made. I was very impressed with that. And then they presented me with a volume, the Redox Signaling book, which has an enormous amount of research. And any time I've done any kind of writing about ASEA, headquarters is very quick to give me all of the research, and I'm very impressed with it.
Wonderful. Well, we've got lots of people watching today. Would you share a couple tips and ideas about, healthy eating that you're so passionate about?
I think what's important is that you start the day with lemon and water every day to really cleanse the palate.
I've got some extra right here right now.
There's a little bit of lemon and water. There we go. Okay, hold on. We'll drink up.
And why is that so important every day?
Because it cleanses the palate, it tonifies the liver, and it's very important to thin the bile, which is a real focus of my book for those that have or don't have a gallbladder.
Okay.
And the bile is important in terms of digesting fat, and it's a detox mechanism of the liver.
So drink their ASEA, then start drinking their lemon water. And how much do you recommend?
Oh, just a glass of hot water with the juice of half a lemon.
Wonderful. And some other healthy eating tips that are so important.
I think breakfast is important at least an hour after you get up in the morning, whether that's a smoothie. I talk about skinny smoothies. I talk about eggs. I talk about last night's supper. Whatever that is, you need protein and the right kind of fat. So bring fat back in your life. Get rid of the starches, the grains. A lot of people have become sensitive to them. Dairy for many people is also a toxic food these days. So if you get rid of some of those underlying hidden weight gain factors, which have to do with food sensitivities, you will lose weight automatically because there'll be no inflammation.
Right. Also, for those of you who don't know, AnnLousie will be speaking at our international convention next September, but you're going to be hearing more from her. Oh, we've got some other people jumping on. Hi, Kathleen. She said, I'm doing her fat flush cleanse tomorrow morning. It is on the stove. Her lemon water is on the stove simmering right now, in fact. That's great, Kathleen. Thank you.
Enjoy, Kathleen. Enjoy.
And so those are some tips. And again, eating that healthy fat. Some people for so long were just veering away from that.
Oh, you've got to get back to fat. I mean, we need fat for our hair, skin, and nails, for our hormones, for our brains, for our cell membranes, for our joints. There's not an organ or tissue that functions without fat. And it's an essential fat that I want people to
And
take.
tell them what are the best fats they should be having.
Avocado is a happy fat.
Happy fat.
It's good for you.
And how much should you be eating?
I have a half an avocado on my program.
Okay.
Every day.
Every day.
And you have the omega-3s that you all know about with your healthy fish, maybe once, twice a week, a little wild-caught salmon, maybe some herring if you like it, sardines if you like it, some walnuts thrown into a salad, delicious, high in omega-3s. I like the flaxseed oil. Chia seeds, excellent fiber, very high in the omega-3s. And then the omega-6s, which you get in lecithin. So in my skinny smoothie, you're putting back lecithin, which is very important for the cell membrane and for cognitive ability. So we try to cover all bases, you see.
Wonderful. Now, you also had some other issues happening in your body with some joint discomfort. And tell everyone what you thought about the skincare regimen, what you've noticed.
Well, I sleep in it. I sleep in it daily. I sleep in it in terms of my face, which has been very important because it starts to really tighten the skin. I mean, there's no question about it. And then I've noticed that my pain is, I can deal with my pain, which was caused from a fall that I had many moons ago that kind of came back to haunt me because of hunching over a computer.
Oh, the computer all day.
Oh, the computer is not good. And then I have to remind myself to take breaks. But, this is life in 21st century
That's
America.
right.
But this is my go-to remedy. It's ASEA topically and internally.
Right. I love to tell people I love to go to bed at night because just like you said, you wear it to bed, and I love to go to bed at night because I get younger looking every day. And so it's certainly been my go-to thing as well. So everyone, just so you know, her Fat Flush Plan, you can find it on Amazon right now. And on page 21, ASEA's mentioned, but she's going to be writing a new book. Do you want to tell them about that one as well?
Yes, it's coming out in May. I wasn't able to fit a whole lot into the new Fat Flush Plan because we had already signed our contract. There wasn't a lot of wiggle room for new information, but there was for a book called Fat Flushing Foods. I think it's called, or the Fat Flush Foods. I should know the name of my book. The new Fat Flushing Foods. It's going to be out in May, and there's a whole section on ASEA. I think people will be really pleased about that.
It was so great when I first met AnnLousie. She said, well, I don't want to be really involved in this. But quickly, as she started to do the research and understand what it was, she said, I have to open my mouth because there's so many people who need to know about this.
They do need to know about it little by little. We need to spread the healing word. And there's no other supplement that really is filled with the redox signaling molecules. And so I want people to understand that. That's why it's so good topically and internally.
Topically and internally. So with that, everyone, I'm so glad that I could spend the afternoon, again, in her beautiful home here on the lake, and be watching for more tips and ideas from AnnLousie, again, with over 30 years experience lots of research that she's spent, and just a wealth of information for all of us. And so we'll be seeing all of you soon. Thanks so much, AnnLousie.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.